All right, everyone. Happy sunny day. Well, I hope it's sunny where you are. I hope it's a good day wherever you are, because we're in week like 5,038 of the COVID madness. But don't let that stop you from getting some really, good deep dive knowledge. Especially when we have such amazing guests to offer you. So thank you for joining the Trish.0 show today. This is a show where we ask event pros all sorts of questions, all about their business. And today we are going to be going deep dive into those questions. I'm sure that there are going to be plenty of people lined up to speak to this guest today. So joining us today is Aleya Harris. How are you?
I am doing great, Trish. How are you?
I'm here. We're good.
We're good. I
We're
just
good. We're
figure
good.
if I keep speaking positively, I will feel like I sound.
They keep talking about speak it into existence and speak the positivity. And while I do appreciate that as sort of like a general mindset, every once in a while you're just like, all right, clock's ticking. When the hell is this positivity supposed to show up and manifest in my
Yeah.
goddamn life
When
right
does it
now?
click in exactly? Did someone
Right?
read the directions? Can I speak to the manager on this positivity spree?
Oh, you went from Malaya to Karen in like 2 seconds. I love it.
2 seconds. I promise I am not normally a Karen. I promise.
Fantastic. No, well, that's all right. Let everybody know who you normally are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Aleya Harris, and I am the owner of Flourish Marketing. Flourish Marketing helps wedding catering and events professionals get and keep a consistent stream of clients with marketing, education, strategy, and tools. And I
Fabulous.
I own that, and I'm a former catering company owner and marketing executive. So I market for wedding and food and event people. That's my jam.
That is totally your jam. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to make sure that we're still live. This is my constant fear.
That we're not
So I
live.
that we're not live. That all of this technology in front of me is just full of it, and that I'm talking into dead air.
Yeah,
But
it
that's all
does
right.
happen.
That does happen. But speaking about, I mean, that's your jam is like, social media, and that can sometimes feel like dead air. That can
Yeah.
sometimes feel like crickets
Yeah.
sometimes.
Marketing in general. So we do social media, and we also do messaging, and we do websites, and
Right.
we do lots of
Everything.
things where you're talking out into the world and you put up something that you think is beautiful, and then you wait. And then
Right.
most people wait and they hope. And then we don't hope, we market. So there's a
I
difference.
know. I love it. I love it that you don't hope you mark it because yeah, I feel like, especially now where everybody's sort of like treading really lightly and having sort of these sort of internal discussions, or maybe just internal in their own head discussions about what their messaging should be. Like when the ish hit the fan, did you have just like a flood of panic calls? Like, what am I going to say to people? What do I even do?
My
Like,
first
what was
call
that?
was to myself.
I love it.
Truthfully, right?
You had like a nice internal chat. I
I,
love
I,
it.
I, yes, it involved Haagen-Dazs and whiskey, and we had lots of self-team meetings.
Gotcha.
And then we got it together, and I tell people all the time that your first response is okay, no matter what it is. And Terry says the bad times are the best times to market. Terry, thanks for being my BFF. Appreciate you.
Love it.
Um, I think you can freak out and you can panic. And no, I didn't get a lot of phone calls. I got a lot of silence, which also happens with panic.
Ooh,
People just
yeah. Yep.
they I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to engage in this crisis story, and I'm not going to do anything at all. So as long as you do whatever you do away from your laptop, I'm okay with it.
Right.
So you
Right.
can freak out and you can say, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my employees? And you can say, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my own bills? Just take your fingers, and if you need to, just sit on them so that you don't damage your own brand. And then you come out and you say, okay, How do I, like Terry said, use this experience to come out stronger on the other side? And that's when you pivot. So most people, if they didn't sit on their hands and they start marketing when they're freaking out, they say, what can I sell to you? Okay, well, I do weddings. Everyone's canceling. I'm just going to push. I'm not going to give refunds. I'm going to do whatever I can to hold on to what I have. And they contract down. And if you feel yourself energetically and emotionally go, whoo, you are still panicking.
Right.
What you should do is still continue to have that response. And when you're done, then you come out and you say, how can I serve you?
Right.
If you do that instead, and you say, okay, I'm freaking out, but I'm an expert. My expertise did not go out of the window just because the Rona came in. So how can I use my expertise to help you?
Right.
And that's what people should be focused on, because a brand and a company, we didn't all build like little Uber businesses, right? Where we just turn them on, turn them off. We try to make a quick buck and we're out. We're trying to build, at least I know I am, I'm trying to build a legacy. I'm trying to change, generational stereotypes. I'm trying to do something that people before me have not done. And that doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or not. It's a long game. So you have to look at your business as the long game, and you keep marketing. And marketing is not selling. Marketing just means that you are really in tune with what your customer needs, and you provide helpful expert advice and solutions to whatever those needs are. So it doesn't really matter when you're a good marketer. It doesn't really matter what's happening in the world. The techniques that you use are exactly the same. Before the pandemic, I was giving away a bunch of free advice, giving away a bunch of free knowledge, because I want to help people. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm in the business that I'm in the industry that I'm in, because I actually care. Right. So if you were doing that before, just keep doing that. And then you won't have to eat nearly as much Haagen-Dazs as I ate. And I'm a big person. If I reach for the ice cream, stuff's going down.
Right. Like whoever came up with those serving sizes was completely full of it.
Really?
Delusional.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Like two and a half servings in a pint. Like
that's just. It's like
came up with that.
A toddler.
Right.
But you take one of those things, you put it on Netflix, you got a spoon. That's a good night.
Right. That I mean, who could ask for anything better these days? Oh my goodness. But I think that you kind of touched on, you're touching on points that I've been that I'm fully on board with. 100% agree with you. It's been sort of just, that the same points drilled, that I'm drilling in time and time again. And that is that you have to think of your business as a long game. I mean, there was a whole thing last night on the news here locally in Washington, D.C., where there was a venue who, if you saw the segment, you know who I'm talking about, but we won't call people out on the show. And the thing is that there was a couple that booked the venue, and they don't have the venue's now sold out for the dates that for the couple's future dates. They can't rebook, so the couple wants to cancel, and the venue's like, well, we're going to keep a percentage of your deposit. And I'm which I guess if maybe you're a caterer or a florist and you're already out particular components of labor,
haven't done anything.
Right. They haven't done anything. So that was the whole venue's perspective, and I respect that. They're like, well, we have to, cover our costs and make sure that, we have, money to pay our employees. And I'm like, how is that?
But that's not that couple's problem. Did you help them?
And they went on the news. And now they're smack talking you on the nightly news.
Yeah, so how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, right. And that's the whole point. Like, so
I bet that deposit tastes real good, right? It's so easy to ruin your reputation, man.
It's so easy these days. Or, or some, where I'm seeing some things online where, people are basically falling apart at the seams. I mean, some people have always been just a little bit unhinged, and that's fine because that's actually part of their own personal brand to begin with.
This is just taking over on that
Yeah,
other
but
side.
yeah, right. But there's just been something about, the whole, low down, like rundown that's just sent them right over the cliff. But that's, that's them. That's
Yeah.
their brand.
I
you
mean,
know?
I guess I don't
Right.
operate well in that space because I like to know that I can help people from a place of clarity, right? I like to be the
Yeah.
calm in the storm. That's
Right.
why I, get certifications and know stuff so that you can come to me when you don't know stuff and I can help you, not add craziness to your life. That's
Right. Right, exactly. Like you're here to make it. You're here to make the people's lives easier,
right.
not overly complicate things.
Yeah.
Like so in terms of like making our lives easier, there was something I wanted to kind of talk to. And I'm just gonna like pop in. Terry had a really good comment. Social media and all media, cuts both ways. Negatives is just juicier to report.
hmm People love the tea, Terry.
They do. They do love the tea. Right, and sometimes that does sell. Sometimes that does promote you a little bit. It pushes your promotion.
Yeah.
We're kind of talking about along that lines, like unexpected forms of promotion. I think is kind of like where I was going with that whole thing.
Mm.
Is that you created this whole thing for caterers on social media. That was kind of like an unexpected way to promote their businesses. I thought it was super clever. When I saw it, and I was just like, it's the type of thing where you smack your own self for not coming up with it because you're like, oh, that's really cool. I love it. But go ahead, let people know, what I'm talking about because I'm speaking in circles.
No, you're doing great. I'm like, keep telling me you love my business. Keep
Yes.
going.
Yes, exactly. I'm just going to keep going. It's
No,
all good.
But what Trish is talking about is the
Yes.
social media pantry. So the social media pantry provides social media kits that help you convert followers into customers. So every month when you subscribe, and it's only $47 a month, you get 30 images, 30 captions, 2 blog posts, and a little 60-second video overview. And all you have to do is personalized post and profit. We do it for caterers, which is what we've been doing for maybe like a year and a half for caterers. And then I was talking to my friend AJ DiDetto, who's the president of Tampa Bay NACE. I'm the national marketing person for NACE.
Yes.
And we were at Evolve, and he was at a table, and he's like, this would be really great, but none of the planners can access it because it's all food stuff. And I'm like, well, you have a very good point there, AJ. So I created a planner one. It's called the Event Toolbox. So there's the food pantry, and there's the Event Toolbox, and it's the same format. You still get the 30 images, 30 posts, 2 blog posts, and that 60-second video overview, but it's all about weddings, events, and it's for you to just take and plug and play to stay consistent. So you can take all the posts, you can, tweak the beginning, tweak the end. There's long versions and short versions, and then you put them out and in a scheduler like later.com, and there's instructions on how to do all of this. And then you get to walk away from worrying about your social media for an entire month. All you have to do is engage the people that comment and go out and like, and social media becomes like fun again. You remember when like I was on Facebook, like when it was only for college students, and it was just
Okay.
fun.
So you're like OG Facebook.
I am.
Yeah,
It was just
OG
fun. And you could see people like, oh, so-and-so put up a picture with so-and-so. They must crush on that. And you knew everybody that was there, right?
Right.
And it was just fun. And it's not as fun anymore. It feels like when you're doing it for business, it feels like a chore. And so part of this is just to help it be more fun. Because if you have something you could have just posted and you could just go and talk to people, I think that's a lot more fun.
Yeah, that was the part that was amazing to me, and I was like, and the reason that it was such a attention grabbing idea for me personally, is because I have had multiple conversations with people who are friends, who are business owners. Not like you and I haven't had that conversation yet, like sort of deep dive into what I do, in terms of my own marketing and in my own media.
Yes, but I would love to.
Right, right. So aside from my, company branding, Trish Star Events, I also have, the channels for Trish.0 show. I also have about 2 other like personal channels that I'm developing, plus what I have for NACE, for DC NACE, because, if you're watching the show and you don't know that I'm the president of DC NACE, well, hey,
Hey, hey, girl.
for whatever that means these days, that hey. So on any given day, I'm running, like 10 media channels, like between Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I've got like 10 channels that I'm running across the board, and that's not my job. To be clear, I do not run a marketing consultancy. I am an event planner.
Even when you do run a marketing consultancy, me doing my own social, because some of the, like my Aleya Harris, that's me, all me,
right,
trying to reach out to people. But then recently I've started diving into I have 3 other Instagrams, 3 other Facebook, LinkedIn. And I'm like, you know what? I gave it back to my writers. I was like, you know what? You guys can't do this. Never mind. It's a lot.
Like I'm so tired of, and that's what it becomes. It becomes fatigue. Like, I'm so tired of myself, and that's the conversation.
Yes.
So that's what it is. I have these conversations with people who, they ask me for advice because they're like, oh, well, you do all these things, you do all the things, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's so exhausting. Like, you get so super tired of your own, self and marketing. Like, it really is just easier to hand it to someone and be like, hey, could just come up with like 30 posts and a video and do
and
all the
blogs,
things,
and I'll just tweak it.
Right.
For $47 a month? Are you kidding me? I would get that. I'm waiting for someone to create my own product for me so I can go buy it.
It's all about scalability. It's all about scale. Yeah, don't put that out there though. You should be the one to scale that though, because
I should be creating content for marketing people that only work in the wedding catering and events industry. I'll just call them because there's not that many of them. Like, hey guys, you want to do your posts? Right,
exactly. I'll do your posts, you do my posts, and then it will become like a little marketing pod.
Exactly.
But really, I mean, and that's really what we're kind of talking about, is this takes the place of a pod, because I've certainly tried, so for those of you out there, if you've never heard of a marketing pod or, a networking pod, in the realm of social media, it's pretty much like when you get together with a bunch of fellow business owners or friends or people who, like, let's say it's like you and 5 other people, or 10 other people, and you want to cross promote Instagram or your YouTube channels. Mm-hmm. The success of that type of group effort is dependent on the weakest link. Mm-hmm. Like, all you need is one person who just gets too busy, or gets stuck, or just doesn't have the bandwidth and doesn't know how to say it, and it breaks down the effort, like all that effort that you've been making to create this sort of like marketing machine for yourself. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, you came up with it, and you're just like, no, you don't really have to depend on people like that. You can just pay me a nominal fee, and I'll take care of it for you.
I'll do it for you. It's a lot easier. And then I even suggest you don't even do it after that. If I were you,
right,
I would then pay a VA $15 an hour,
right,
and have them do it. So you literally wouldn't do any of it.
Right. Right. It's total walk away marketing.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's what we're really talking about. It's sort of like shifting, reaching your audience at this time, because people are out of work. Yes, people are struggling right now. But this is a temporary situation. I think that's what's kind of getting to me in all of this, is that, just conversations I've had with different people who are not, I mean, there are certain people who aren't in a good headspace, and then there are certain people who are like sort of like, I'm calling it anti-headspace.
Oh, I like that. I do. Anti-headspace.
Right. Like I'm
You're
gonna,
literally not in your mind.
right. You are literally not thinking straight.
Yeah.
You are following all the tin hat, crazy theory situation, all that fake newsishness going on
Yeah.
out there. But this is all, it's going to pass. This too shall pass.
Yes. Yes.
And so it's one of those things where, it's important to remember that you're going to have a life to lead after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's what you
knock on
do
wood.
now that makes a big difference. Like if you can change up the words on your website or change out the
Yep.
flow, if you can start email marketing, which I have a big email marketing soapbox that I'm always on, because your email list is your business's basically marketing number one asset.
Yeah.
If you can start all of that stuff now, I don't like saying, oh, you have the time, because I don't know what your life is.
Right. Like, we don't want to make assumptions. Sure.
I'm not going to make assumptions, but I do
Right.
know that whether you have time or whether you're actually busier than normal because of managing through all of this craziness,
Right.
life is presenting you with craziness, and life is presenting you with, I'm not trying to sound opportunistic, but it is an opportunity because everyone is talking about the same thing,
Right.
which doesn't happen very often. It happens in a news cycle, so they're talking about the same thing for like a week. But now you're having the opportunity to look at the pandemic story like it has a beginning, middle, and an end, and really participate actively in that story.
Right.
And get yourself out there with stuff that's relevant that you don't even have to think about. As a marketer, normally I'm having to really dive into, well, what does my customer's ideal client really need? Who are they? Where did they grow up? Blah, blah, blah. Now you can, I have marketers that are going to kill me for saying this, but now you can kind of get away with not getting as in depth in the who is my ideal customer, and just say, I know that pretty much if I'm a wedding planner, my customers all just postpone their weddings. It doesn't really matter what kind of wedding it was. It doesn't really matter who they are.
Right.
Let me
Right.
give advice for what do you do when you postpone your wedding. Like it's a lot more straightforward right now.
Right.
And people feel their pain more tangibly than they did before,
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can totally work with that. You pray for them, you send them the light, and then you give them advice. That's why you come from a place of service.
Well, 100%. I'm 100% on board with all of that, and I think what you kind of touched on a little bit, and what I wanted to get in, at least in part of the conversation, was about email lists. You talked a little bit about email lists. Now, I have personally, like as a personal aside, I am one of those people that has always resisted a little bit of an email list. I just, I feel stuck. I don't know what to do with it. I'm an event planner. Yeah. I suppose I could come up with some content. I mean, I'm coming up with content here. And this
You're
is
doing a great job.
Thank you. Well, and part of the reason that I wanted to do this specifically was because it's very much in line with what my brand really is as at the core. What people really pay me for is to have, to answer really good questions and have really good answers for them. So for me, this is all just an extension of like, here, let me show you what I do. And let me show you who I'm talking to and what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So for me, the visual medium works for that. Works for, for that sort of,
Yeah.
mind space, I guess that you could call it. But for those people who are out there who maybe have an email list and you've never really monetized that email list, or like you're like, well, maybe this would be a really good time to get an email list going. Talk to them about, like, so the newbie, the newly initiated to email lists, like what should people be doing? What is it? What should they be doing with it?
So I'm totally gonna get into that, but first of all, I just love what you said about how people pay me to answer really good questions with really good answers. I just wanted to underscore that because not everybody understands that that's what any of us get paid for.
Right.
And that you think you're in business because you like to create events.
Right,
And
which I do. Which I
right.
do.
And
Right.
hopefully, yeah, you're not going to get, if you don't like to create events, then please do something
Right.
else. But,
Right.
but that's not why you operate. You operate to solve a problem, right? To answer a question, to be the one that knows how to do something. And that's where all marketing starts. And truthfully, that's where your email list starts too. So this is a lot harder than email list, girl.
Let me find out that I could have been like monetizing myself for the past. You know what though? I'm not even gonna say that because I'm that type of person who's always got like 50 projects at any point in time. So, you know, who knows? Next week we might connect and I'll be like, yep, I started my email list. So
Yeah, well,
you
I
know,
hope that you did. I hope that you do. So, but
right.
so an email list, for those who don't know at all, we're not talking about your Gmail, we're not talking about your Yahoo, and we're also not talking about buying someone else's list. I am not in that camp. So just
Right.
heads up. Your email list is an engaged list of your ideal customer that you are actively trying to nurture a relationship with, to build know, like, and trust so that they will buy from you. That is what an email list is. You can have an email list of 100 people. You can have an email list of 3,000, 10,000 people. The size of your list is not as important as the engagement of the people on it. So I said that you start your email list the same way that you, Trish, start your business and in your mind with solving a problem. The best way to attract someone to your email list is to give away something that solves their problem. That thing that you give away is called a lead generator. It could be a simple like PDF, the top 10 things to do when your wedding has been canceled. You could be a quiz. How to know if you're a bridezilla. Click here, take the quiz.
They'll never admit it.
They would never admit it.
Spoiler alert, they never admit it.
I asked when I was getting married, I was like, am I a bridezilla? And they're like, no.
No, you're a sweetheart. You're the best person I've ever dealt with ever.
But then in the end, they were like, no, because this was at the beginning. And I think that I am hyper organized. And I was like, here is my playbook. I did. But then I think she expected then me to micromanage the playbook. I was like, no, that's why I gave you the playbook. Do the playbook. I have stuff to do.
I've got to go get married.
I have to go. Like, So then she goes, no, actually, you weren't a bridezilla. I had to clarify that. But I don't know if there was a quiz that could tell me whether I was or wasn't. Then I might.
Yeah, right, and you know, and that in and of itself is kind of telling. You know, I think the people who are inclined to take the quiz are probably, I would say, like 95% of the time not bridezillas. I think it's the ones that are in total denial.
They're like, no, I'm amazing. Now get my stuff.
Right. Like, why am I even bothering with this quiz? I know I'm not. All right, girl.
Right. But that's actually part of the beauty of the quiz, because the beauty of a lead magnet, so it's a quiz, it's a PDF, it's a checklist, is you're wanting to attract your ideal customer. So if the quiz, you're banking on Trish's advice and you have a bridezilla quiz and you're like, that means I'm probably going to not attract the bridezillas, that's good for you. Because that means that you're not going to end up working with the bridezillas, right? Because when you do, they take the quiz, they give you their email address, and now they're on your email list.
If it was only so easy, if it was only that easy, you know.
You don't really know. You don't really know. But the goal is to create a thing that is about what you sell, and it's about who you sell, and you want to try to capture them at the time that they need you the most. So having something that's geared towards engaged couples is better than having something that's geared towards people whose wedding is like a month out. So if you had a PDF that says what to do the month before your wedding, that's not really useful for you, because those people are going to get married in a month. And unless you can capture them right away, you're kind of losing out on that. Yes, you might then get the referral business for them being on your email list, but you want to try to get people as early on in the process as possible. If it's a corporate client that you're trying to tackle, get them before budgets are created, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then you can help say, oh, well, these are the events. Have you thought about an external planner? So a lot of corporations, I was a marketing executive, and our budgets had to be set. We were publicly traded companies, so they had to be set, at the end of the year. So start getting them in the beginning of fourth quarter, end of third quarter. So like September, October is a great time to approach corporate folks about any of your new bright and shining ideas. And that's when you could also do an ad push that promoted, actually, I would do the ad push probably in summer, that promoted a lead magnet for corporate, that promoted a lead magnet like how to increase workplace productivity with quality corporate events. Create that PDF, promote it, and target it in the summer so that you can have enough time to build know, like, and trust, so that right before budget season is there, you can start sending out a little bit more sales-driven emails to your email list. So it's all strategic, all strategic.
Do you find that timing is that important? Well, I mean, it's important. Obviously, it's important. I mean, there's that. But is it vital? Like, if someone misses that summer deadline, do they just scrap it until next year?
Because of it, again, you can dive in and know your ideal customer like the back of your hand, but you really don't. You're not really in their business like that. So who's for you? There are times that are better to do things than others. There are times of the year when it's better to promote your wedding services than others, but like engagement season. But it's not going to necessarily make or break you, because people are always having events. People are people are normally people are always getting married. People are always having babies. It's what happens. People are having bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs.
Right. Exactly.
It's what happens.
People still, the world is still spinning.
The world is still spinning. 2021 has not been canceled yet.
Right.
So you can keep booking for then. And when you ask a good question, it's like, okay, so I got them on my email list. What do I do with them now? You got to talk to them, Trish.
Like, what do I do with this now? Like, great.
You got to talk to them. So just like how you come with like super good advice and you have guests and stuff, really, actually for you, it's super easy. All you would do would be to email them once a week and say, hey, look at the most recent Trisha shows. We have a next one that's coming up. Have you thought about ABC? And here's a cool story. And that's kind of it. If you're not Trish and you don't have the Trish.0 show, then you can send out a weekly tip. So if you are a wedding planner and you are trying to talk to brides, and let's say we're not in COVID time, right? And you're just saying, I'm going to send out organization tip. Next week, I'm going to send out how to deal with that cousin that you don't like that's coming to your wedding because your mama said so. The next week, I'm going to talk about how to plan decor that is probably a little bit more budget friendly, but not going all the way back to the mason jar. So you are giving helpful advice once a week, and it doesn't have to be labor intensive. We're talking like 300 words and a picture, hopefully a GIF. And then inside those emails, you have them click on something. Click on something for you. Click on to follow you. Click to take a quiz. Click to see your recent Facebook video. Something so that they get in the habit of clicking. So then eventually when you're sending them a sales thing, they click and they're like, oh, I bought something. What did I buy? Because they're used to clicking. It's like Pavlov's dogs, like click, 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 buy.
Right. Nice. I really love that. Like, just keep them clicking.
Keep them clicking.
Clicking.
That's
actually an amazing strategy.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. I love the whole setup. I mean, certainly, like keeping people engaged. It's so challenging. And I bet that the people who are, listening in on this particular chat today, probably also fall into that camp where, they're kind of like, how do I connect with people, electronically when, sometimes you put things out there and it's, you get, personal example. I put up a picture of a baby goat in a tutu on my birthday, and that was probably my best liked photo all year
Yep.
Like I'm putting out like what I think, but it's the same thing. It's like I'm putting
Like,
out
I'm
what I
giving
think
you
is like,
golden mind nuggets. What is
right,
wrong with you people?
right. And you like baby goat with his tongue. I mean, it was a freaking cute baby goat. So I would have liked it too. Like no lie, I did it for that. But there's always sort of this perception about what people are going to connect with.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where that's going is like, whether it's Instagram or an email list, it's just touch points. Like how many, I forget what it is. How many times do you have to touch a client before they'll buy?
They'll buy from you. I don't remember, but it's several. It's more than once. It's more than one social media post and more than one email.
Yeah,
I want to say
for sure.
Or is it 7? I don't remember.
It's like 7 or I don't know. And it's probably like adjusted for all the social media that's going on right now.
You have to actually touch more because they're inundated with all of these messages.
And then you always get the new one. I mean, whatever happened to Snapchat? That just
Wait,
came
now
in,
you
came
have
out.
to know
TikTok. What the hell? TikTok. What are we doing?
First of all, I have to get into
what are we doing?
But I was like, let me, put my marketer hat on and be very professional. Let me go take TikTok.
Right.
I was on TikTok for 2 hours watching videos, and the time just went away, and I was laughing, and I was like showing my husband, look at that, it's addictive. I'm just saying. That's why TikTok is doing so well.
Well, I mean, it replaces Vine. I mean, it's a practical clone of Vine. So I understand why why people might really be attracted to it. But
it came out when everybody's at home and have the time to make all of these videos.
Well, and I've seen like a lot of posts from people, kind of like what you were talking about with like that sort of freebie PDF, that sort of call, that sort of thing that you're putting out for free, call to action. Thank you.
And then you have your lead magnet. I know.
Lead magnet. Yeah. All the terminologies, where people are talking about like how to use TikTok for business. And I'm like, is that really something? Can you really use TikTok for business?
Apparently, I am in one of those engagement groups, and I am not a TikTok expert. So
okay.
I'm going to just put that all the way out there.
No, that's okay. We'll brainstorm together. We'll think. Yes.
But the difference between social media marketing before and social media marketing now is that before you got to be able to just educate and just share. Now you have to edutain. So you have to educate and entertain at the same time. You can't be boring. So TikTok, you have to showcase the part of you that is really about, look, do you know me? Do you like me? Build up my brand. And then you're going to come and click eventually. The point from what I have seen or what I would do on TikTok is not, let me have a 15-second video giving you a marketing tip, which I can do on definitely LinkedIn, definitely Facebook. On TikTok, it's going to be me doing something kind of ridiculous, maybe singing my marketing woes out. I don't know, but it needs to be something that people are going to then take and also try to duplicate on their own. So it could even be, sarcastic, like marketing in the time of COVID. I don't know what that would look like, but something that's funny, where people are singing along, like the Don't Rush challenge, right?
Okay.
That's a TikTok thing. Like, have you seen that? That's the one where they are dressed like shabby, and then they put like the makeup brush into the camera, and then they're dressed nicely.
Yeah, the one that I caught was like, it was like a seamstress, and she did this thing where she was like dressed up really shabby, but she had like a pile of material, and then she would put her thing up like this, and then when she came back, she was wearing the outfit that she designed. I thought that was really, really well done. That was amazing.
That's good marketing. I think that you could do that.
Right.
I have a hard time doing stuff like that because my stuff is really digital. I don't have a lot of things that I could in the real world do for you, like to put on. I can't put on a dress. I'm not a seamstress. But if you have an event, you could totally start off like event planners aren't planning this right now, but you have your garage. and
Right.
all that stuff that I'm sure that you've kept that you weren't supposed to keep. So start off with a ruddy looking space and redo it. You could actually do that
Yeah.
all around your house. Actually, you could do like a whole front yard setup. You could do it like your kids' room, what your kids' room might look like if it was like a little princess party. You could,
Cute.
that would be a good event wedding planner, don't rush kind of challenge.
That would be amazing, actually. All right. So there we solved it.
Dude, done. Look,
3 minutes.
two bright and capable women solving TikTok for business.
I love it. I love it. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you get like, two people just like hashing it out, talking it out.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, especially like, most of the time I have my team, but everyone is digital. And so, and nowadays everyone's working remotely. And so you do miss that brainstorming, right? That you can do either in person or more frequently without having to jump on a call.
Well, there's that. I mean, because you could talk about sort of like your home environment, but really, you don't always want to have to rely on people who are not in the same space, and to not sort of, it's like it's useful sometimes, but other times it's just more frustrating than anything else.
Yeah, like so like I'm launching a course on May 25th. It's open enrollment.
Talk about that.
Oh, I was about to tell a story about my husband.
No. Let's go to husband first, and then we'll talk about marketing afterwards, because I feel like the husband story is probably
that interesting. It's just I finished the course and I'm showing it to him, and I finished the marketing collateral that really is like, this is how I help you. Please let me help you. Is basically what the collateral is all about. And he goes, oh, I love the colors, and I'm like, I've spent days on this. Like, it's like, you just don't understand. He's a bright cookie. He's a college professor. He's not like, I don't get it. He's like, I get it. But he goes, and this is great, because the thing about marketing is when marketing is done really well, it just looks like it should be there.
Right.
It should. That's just like, you never were like, wow, McDonald's, nice ad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's just what it's supposed to look like.
Unless it's trash, then you're like,
and then you're like, ooh, then that's when it goes viral, when it's horrible, right?
Right, of course.
When it's good, people are like, well, that's how it's supposed to be, and you're just, a marketer.
Right.
Thanks. So, but then I reached out to my friend Peggy Kelly. She's here in California with me, and she's a wedding and events planner. But she's been in the business for 30-something years, and she also does a whole bunch of other things. And I was like, Peggy, look how great this is. And she goes, oh, this is really great. I love this. You should tweak that. I'm like, this is so it makes a lot of sense with what you're saying. You have to talk to people that get it, because otherwise you just sort of like, well, then never mind.
You find your audience. Find your audience. I mean,
find your audience and find your tribe.
Find your tribe. Thank you. I did, similar story. I did a post like this, maybe this time last year, whenever they were announcing, Cater Source special event speakers coming up. And, and I was super stoked, because I'm like, this is going to be, it was my first opportunity to create a presentation on a national stage that was not company based, that there was no like mandatory participation on the my audience. I could walk into a room with nobody there. It's totally voluntary. So I was super excited about it. Told a couple of people, and they were like, "Oh," and I'm like, no. And then I started texting a bunch of friends, and they're like, hell yeah, boss lady, that's why you're the bitch, blah blah blah. And I'm like,
exactly.
Yep. This is it. This is what I came for.
You are now my tribe. Thank you very much.
Right.
This entrepreneur life is rough sometimes, right? Sometimes you just need people to be like, you know what, girl, I see you. Do what you do. Keep going. You are killing it. Like, sometimes you just need a little bit of that.
That's it. Right. I mean, sometimes you don't need anything more than that. Sometimes you just need a good cheering section.
Yeah, totally. Totally. That's, I'm cultivating that more now because when I started my business, I was working full time as a marketing executive. I was the head of marketing for North America, and I didn't have time to even cheer myself on. I was like heads down, heads down. I'm just going to do all of the things.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, I'm on my own now, and I'm like, okay, I'm missing. I really do need to be cheered on because this is a lot harder on your own than you think it is, and it doesn't matter. I am a marketing expert. I am an industry expert, and sometimes it just doesn't matter. You need someone to be like, you know what, that was good. It's not just good to you; it's good to everybody.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Sometimes you just like to, it's just the validation.
It's the validation
of everything. But but I love that, even in all this, that, like one of the first things, like when you and I were in the green room, we were saying, like, for those of you who don't know, if you haven't been through the process, like, I like to talk to people a couple minutes before, get the mic checked out, get our lighting right, kind of doing like a little bit of a warm up. And then that's when we go live and all of my crazy technology, and then my phone goes off and all that crazy business goes happening. But,
I think it's been great.
So far so good. But we were talking about how you've been like super busy, and you've been creating this marketing course, that of course your husband liked the pretty colors of.
Yes, he liked the pretty colors of. I'm like, this is my blood, sweat, and tears. Right. I am.
So what is it? Like, what are you doing?
It's called Spark Marketing, and it's the only course of its kind that teaches marketing to wedding catering and events professionals by only answering 5 simple questions. You answer 1 question a week, and you do the worksheets in alignment with those questions and the lessons, and you end up with a Spark marketing plan. So if you don't have a marketing plan, you're missing out on several things, but you're also mostly missing out on knowing what the heck you're doing with your business. And you're relying on other people to drive your business forward, and you're not really being a business owner. You are not proactively going and knowing where you're going to get your revenue from, how you're going to get it, and what your goals are, and how to target the right people. So a lot of your business, actually, if you're relying on word of mouth, your business is in the mouths of others, and the problem is that you can't control somebody else's mouth. So you need to be able to have a plan to address how you're going to drive revenue into your business. And especially now, it's super important to have a plan. And the good thing about a plan is plans change and goals change. But if you were starting from nothing and you didn't know what your true value was that you added, you weren't really intimately involved in the knowledge of who your ideal customer is, or you don't know when you're going to have your next promotion or what a promotion really means, and it's not just a discount. If you don't know any of that, then you're really just kind of like trying to make money from a hobby.
Right.
So that's what Spark Marketing does. And it does it without overwhelming you. It does it without you saying, what the heck is that word? What is this lingo? And because I'm, in the industry with y'all, I use examples from our industry. So it makes sense, right? I'm not talking about deep sea fishermen. I'm talking about,
unless you do events for deep sea fishermen, no judgment, no shade.
I don't know what those would look like. Something in a netball, maybe. Anywho,
it would be Floridian. Whatever it is, it would be absolutely Floridian.
Yes,
for sure.
That's funny. But so that's what Spark Marketing is, and enrollment only opens a couple times a year. So, and this is open enrollment starts May 25th. You can go to flourishmarketing.co/spark to learn more and get on the wait list. So the wait list is open now until May 25th. May 25th is when you can actually enroll, and this is the lowest price it will ever be. I encourage you to get in now because I'm having, basically Corona pricing, because I understand what everybody is going through, but I also really deeply, truly in my heart of hearts know that now is the time to build your marketing. And it's not just because I'm a marketer. I've been doing it for my business too. I got a publicist. I've been writing articles and guest blogs and just like until my little fingers are looking at me crazy, because now is the time to market. I've hosted so many webinars and participated on so many other webinars because people are craving content, but you have to know what kind of content to write and what content even means before you can write it. flourishmarketing.co.com. That is right.
I'm just pointing that out there for, for people who are probably going to like loop back and be like, what was that .com? No, .co.
flourishmarketing.co/spark if you're interested in the
say /spark. Let me just, I'm going to go ahead.
FLOURISH.
FLOURISH. See, it's all this. It's being all the things.
You're trying. The fact that you even have that going and you're talking is impressive.
Thank you. It's look, sometimes, some days it's a hill, some days it's a mountain.
Yeah.
So,
and it's okay.
And it's all good. It's definitely all good because I definitely got it right in the show description. Because I cut and paste. That's what happened. That's how I know when I get it right. Just cut and paste. But I love it. I love that it's like, I love that it's the perspective of like proactive marketing rather than reactive marketing. Yeah. Because Megan Ely and I were talking yesterday. And really, that's kind of where she and I landed it as well. As that, now is the time. I know, it doesn't have to be about, getting out there and being like, like I've seen certain companies approach me, where they're like, hey, do you need any rentals? Hey, do you need any staging? And I'm like, no one needs anything right now.
No one needs that. But that's a good point. But like if they had reached out to you with something that you actually did need right now because they were paying attention to their customers, then you might have said yes. But that they're in panic mode and they could have stepped away from their laptop.
Right. Or they've got a boss breathing down their neck and they're all, who's all like, now's the time to contact people because everybody's home and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, everyone is home. Everyone. That's the operative word there. Every damn person.
Yes.
But that is what it is. But yeah, I think it's just all just amazing. Like coming up with these, were you always that person who kind of, you have marketing. I mean, obviously, so there's, a marketing background and you were a corporate marketer and you have that in your wheelhouse to begin with. But did you always look at it and say like, I want to take it and I want to twist it a little bit and I want to offer something new and unique? Like, what was it about it that said that? Yeah.
So what, well, no, I wasn't always a marketer. Well.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
because I heard corporate marketing and I thought that might have been always your thing, but no, but you worked in catering.
Yeah, I worked in catering and I was private. Sure. I went to USC here in Los Angeles and then I graduated and I was in the fashion industry. It was not for me. I was like, there was no meaning in it for me.
Right.
And I know I'm looking good like the next person, but it wasn't my calling. So then I went into the cosmetic industry kind of as a fluke, not because I was so much more meaning, because I was young and I was like, ooh, makeup. And then I got laid off. And then I tried to get a job and I couldn't get a job doing anything. And Uber wasn't around back then. So I was kind of like screwed. So there was no gig economy. And so I had my friend over eating at my house. And she said, you should go to culinary school. And I'm like, oh, didn't think about that. Thank you for the kudos.
Okay.
So I did. So I signed up like that week, and I was in culinary school for 2 years at Le Cordon Bleu in Pasadena, and I was a private chef. I started my catering company inside of culinary school based off of a chef who told me that I was going to have to work for like $8 an hour for years before I would ever amount to anything. And I was like, ooh, that's not how I work.
It's the fashion industry all over again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like crabs in a barrel, man. I'm like, ugh, grumpy chef instructor, stop it.
Right.
So actually, when I was there, I started building a catering company, and over the next 2 years, I had 20 recurring corporate and private accounts.
Love it.
And then I was Stevie Wonder's private chef, and I traveled all over the world with him. I worked with Bruce Willis, and I was his private chef, and I was like, all the time being like, you don't know me, chef instructor. See, I'm going to, and I got a 4.0 when I graduated.
Right.
Just to prove you wrong.
Show your ass. Right.
Exactly. So then I transitioned into, it wasn't as corporate then because I was working for Google's food program. So we were kind of building up this food program. It was more, for me, I loved it because it was about saving the world one person at a time, kind of like, and food culture and, you know, the science of food, the ethics of food, cultural aspects of food. It was gorgeous. And then I got promoted to corporate, and then I kept going up, and then I became the head of marketing but it was kind of when I was at that level where I'm like, okay, I'm on a global level. I have a bunch of responsibility, and this is not what I signed up for. I'm missing talking to the people and helping the people, my tribe, right? I'm missing my catering people. I'm missing my events people. I'm missing my food people because, you know, you talk to a bunch of people when you're the head of marketing, but you rarely talk to the person who's telling you all about how they just perfected their latest molecular gastronomy technique. Like, that's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
So, and I miss that. So now I'm getting to do this, and I get to talk to people who do things like that.
Well, and we're all benefiting from it because, you know, if people haven't connected with you, then they need to get out and connect with her right now.
Please do. I actually genuinely want to connect, especially now. I mean, it's so easy. Everybody now has figured out how to use Zoom, so you could just call me.
Except for those of us who haven't. I mean, I did a call the other day, and no, actually not the other day. I mean, it was like a month ago, and someone had. It was really, really funny. It was like someone had the background from church, so it was like giant crucifixes in their background. And then someone, it was really, and then he couldn't figure out how to take it down, which was still not as bad as the girl who turned herself into a potato. Did you hear about that one?
No, I have seen the woman who used the bathroom on the call, though. That was pretty funny. But who turned herself into a potato?
Someone did. It wasn't Zoom. It was like Microsoft, whichever one that the Office Teams. Mm-hmm. So they did a Teams call. It was like every Friday night they do a Office happy hour. So she was using the potato filter during the happy hour, but for Monday's meeting she forgot that she still had the filter on. She didn't know how to turn the filter off, and so now she's got to conduct this entire corporate official meeting as a potato. And
why didn't you just turn her camera off?
Right, that might have made a little bit more sense. That might have made
like
putting a little bit more sense.
Post-it note over, like, low tech, right? Put a post-it note over. Look, then at least she could have even done what I just did and held her thumb there the whole time.
Or something. Like grab your photo on your phone, or just I don't know. It was just really, really funny. But I think what I appreciate most about this time period is that everyone's just super tolerant. They're tolerant of the crappy lighting, the interruption of phone calls, the wackiness,
running around, animals. I actually rather enjoy it. I'm like, I think if you have a puppy, they should just be part of your thing.
Yeah, I think automatically. I think that should be like a mandatory thing. The dog
make
should be
everybody's day better, okay?
Exactly. So Aleya, thank you so much for being a guest today. We're right at that 1 hour mark. I want to be respectful of your time, and of course, be respectful of everybody else's time. I do like to wrap my interviews. Here's my signature question.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd been prepped for this.
I don't think I watched your signature question. Maybe I have. Hit me.
It's all right. All right. So everything opens up, and you can go wherever you want to go and eat whatever you want to eat. Where are you going, and what are you eating?
Oh man, I'm going to the beach, and I'm probably gonna go to Nobu in Malibu.
Nice.
Because they have amazing food. They're right on the water. Memories there. We've done Easter there with my family, and you know the drive there. You drive on PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, and you're driving along the coast. And I would go there. Even just saying it, I'm like, yeah, no, I really would go. That's where I'm really going.
You're like, that is 100% what I'm doing.
Yes.
With my time. Yeah, perfect. I think that sounds like a fantastic idea. And the next time I have family out in Long Beach, so the next time I'm out, hopefully sooner rather than later, hopefully. I'm gonna come see. I'm gonna say hi, and we're gonna have
and let's go to
beautiful
Nobu.
And we'll go to Nobu in Malibu.
There we go.
I love it.
No boo in the boo.
I'm sure that's how they say it too.
I'm
sure of it.
Exactly how they say it.
All right, my dear. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us on this bright and early, what's early day for you, but later in the afternoon from us. And again, if you're out there and you want to, participate in any of our fabulous programs, especially the new marketing course coming up, the Spark program, Spark Marketing program coming up, it's flourishmarketing.co, not .com/spark.
Yes, ma'am. That is absolutely.
Yay! I made it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. There you go. All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.